A count-controlled loop is often called a for loop. So let's look into how we're using this. Formally, the definition for loop is that we have a keyword that is called for. Then we have some assignment here. So a count variable is set to an initial value. Then we check for condition. So has the counting variable reached the upper limit, the number of iterations that we want this for loop to be executed? And then an assignment, which changes the value of the counting variable after execution of the block. Okay, sounds perhaps a bit esoteric, so let's look at it in some examples here. So for Python, the syntax is for, and then there's a variable, the keyword in, and then we use a sequence, and then we execute a statement. Below here, we are having two examples, one that is counting and the other one that's adding. We use the NumPy package here because it is useful. Here we're saying for the variable x, okay, so this is our counting variable that we're defining here, and that is in range. Range is a built-in function that in this case gives you values from 2 up to, but not including 11, increments in steps of 2, right? So we are counting from 2 to 10 in steps of 2. Right? Remember, when you're using range, the upper end of the range function is not part of the sequence that is being produced. So you always got to go one higher. It's exclusive of this value. And then we print x, okay? So what will this produce? It will produce 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 here, right? So after it is printed, internally Python increments the value of x by this 2. So, or rather what Python does is it creates a list of values that are 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, and x gets assigned these values. Same thing. Okay, then first 4 is done, and we're going to the next for loop here. Here we're just summing up vector elements. We are stepping through the sequence 23, 1, and 5. S is initially assigned the value 0. So in the first iteration, we have S getting assigned the value of 0 plus 23. So S is 23 after the first iteration. After the second iteration, 1 gets added. So we have S gets assigned the value of now 23 plus 1 is 24. So S is now 24. And the third iteration, we add 5 to this. So S gets the value of 24 plus 5, which is 29. And at the end, we print the sum of this. Cool. In the shell, TC shell, same thing. We have a for each as a keyword here, so that is different. The variable that goes through the sequence is defined then next, and then there's a parentheses, and we can define a sequence or some list. We can even enter the list if we want to and execute a block after this. So the way this looks is here on the same example, go from 2 to 10 in steps of 2. For each x in the sequence. We'll talk about what these tick marks mean in later videos. But what this generates is the same sequence of 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So start at 2, increment by 2, go to 10. And it echoes the values. Then we print the first 4 is done, and we do the sum of vector elements down here. So we set the sum variable to 0, and then for each x going through 23, 1, and 5, we add to s the value of the variable x. Okay, this is an abbreviated syntax here. The add symbol means basically add in place the value that you find here to the thing that is already there. So again, after all of the iterations, the value here is going to be 29.